Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gone Legends. Today, we gather to honor four unforgettable figures, four artists whose voices, performances, and unwavering dedication left a mark on generations. Before we begin, we kindly ask you to like this video. Your support allows us to continue preserving the stories of legends who shaped our world. Thank you. And now, let us begin. Louis Cameron Gossett Jr. was born on May the 27th, 1936, in Brooklyn, New York. From the moment he entered the world, he carried with him a warmth, a presence, that others felt instantly. At 17, he stepped onto a Broadway stage for the first time, and without experience, without professional training, he delivered a performance that stunned seasoned actors. Louis had something you could not teach. He became a rising star on stage, sharing Broadway with legends like Sidney Poitier, and it wasn't long before Hollywood came calling. Louis brought a richness to every character he touched, strength, vulnerability, and truth. Then came Roots. His portrayal of Fiddler became one of the most emotionally powerful performances in television history. It wasn't just acting, it was history brought to life. His performance opened hearts, opened conversations, and earned him critical acclaim. But his greatest triumph came in 1982. In An Officer and a Gentleman, Louis Gossett Jr. portrayed Gunnery Sergeant Emile Foley, a role that electrified the screen. His intensity, authority, and emotional depth earned him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him the first black man to win in that category. It was a historic moment, not just for Louis, but for Hollywood. Through the decades, Louis continued acting not for fame, but for purpose. He used his craft to inspire change, to tell stories that needed to be told. He advocated for civil rights, supported young actors, and carried himself with humility even as the world celebrated him. Louis Gossett Jr. passed away on March the 28th, 2024. Tributes poured in from across the world, from Hollywood giants, from fans, from communities he touched. His legacy lives in his performances, his advocacy, and the barriers he broke with dignity and grace. He was more than an actor. He was a pioneer, a mentor, a legend. Joseph O'Flaherty was born on June 21, 1941, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Unlike many entertainers, Joe did not grow up chasing fame. Instead, he grew up chasing laughter, the kind of laughter that fills a room, heals a heart, and brings people together. That gift would eventually make him a cornerstone of comedy history. Joe became one of the founding members of Second City, the legendary improv troupe that shaped generations of comedians. With a sharp wit and unmatched timing, he became a writer, a performer, and a mentor within the comedy world. But it was SCTV, Second City Television, that made him a household name. In the 1970s and 80s, SCTV stood as one of the purest showcases of comedy brilliance ever created. Joe brought dozens of characters to life, countless sketches delivered with deadpan brilliance, the kind of subtle humor that never needed exaggeration. His portrayal of the eccentric Count Floyd, the clueless station manager Guy Caballero, and dozens more left an imprint on the comedy landscape forever. Joe was not a loud comedian. He didn't need to be. His humor was deliberate, thoughtful, masterful. And behind that humor was a profoundly kind man. Someone who nurtured younger performers, offered gentle guidance, and inspired countless comedians who went on to shape modern entertainment. Later in his career, Joe became beloved to a new generation through his role as Harold Weir in the cult classic Freaks and Geeks. His performance was honest and heartfelt, a perfect blend of comedy and sincerity. Joe Flaherty passed away on April 1st, 2024, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and an entire world of performers who owe part of their careers to his kindness. His passing was felt deeply across the comedy community, a reminder of how rare true comedic craftsmanship can be. Joe's legacy is simple, yet profound. He made people smile. And in a world that often forgets how, that is a gift beyond measure. Barbara Rush was born on January 4, 1927, in Denver, Colorado. Her journey into Hollywood began with dreams as bright as the California sun. After studying acting at the Pasadena Playhouse, Barbara entered the world of film with a kind of elegance that set her apart instantly. She became known for her grace, her expressive eyes, and her ability to convey emotion with depth and subtlety. In the 1950s, she starred in science fiction classics like It Came from Outer Space, earning a Golden Globe Award for her captivating performance. She brought authenticity to roles that easily could have felt unreal, a testament to her natural talent. Barbara worked alongside some of the biggest names of her era: Frank Sinatra, Paul Newman, Rock Hudson. Her roles in films such as Magnificent Obsession, The Young Lions, and Bigger Than Life solidified her reputation as one of Hollywood's most compelling actresses. She transitioned into television with equal success, appearing in beloved shows like Peyton Place, Seventh Heaven, and All My Children. With every role, she carried herself with a quiet strength, never seeking the spotlight, yet always shining inside it. Barbara Rush passed away on March 31, 2024, at the age of 97. Her life was long, full, and rich, a legacy built not on controversy or noise, but on dignity, talent, and a lifelong love for the craft of storytelling. She was the embodiment of Hollywood's golden age, a reminder of a time when elegance met emotion, and performers carried themselves with timeless grace. 4 legends. 4 lives shaped by courage, creativity, and unwavering dedication. Cher revolutionized music and film. Joe Flaherty shaped comedy with intellect and kindness. Louis Gossett Jr. broke barriers with power and grace. Barbara Rush defined an era of elegance on screen. Their stories remind us that legacy is not measured only by fame, but by the hearts we touch, the art we create, and the lives we inspire. Sherilyn Sarkisian was born on May 20, 1946, in El Centro, California, a place that carried no hint of the global empire she would one day build. Her childhood was a fragile mixture of movement, instability, and dreams. Her mother, Georgia Holt, was a woman with music in her veins and ambition in her heart, an actress, a singer, a restless spirit who believed in possibilities even when the world did not make them easy. Money was inconsistent, homes were temporary, and Cher's early life unfolded like a series of brief chapters, each one teaching her something, each one shaping the woman she would become. But even in those uncertain years, Cher carried something extraordinary inside her, a presence, a spark, a quiet, powerful knowing. She didn't fit into the mold that others tried to place her in. She wasn't the shy girl in the back of the classroom. She wasn't the fragile child defined by her circumstances. She was different, bold, curious, imaginative. And she felt deep in her bones that she was meant for something greater than the small world surrounding her. Growing up, Cher often felt like an outsider. School never came easily. She struggled with reading, felt disconnected from her peers, and fought against a sense of not belonging. But while she found little comfort in classrooms, she found herself on stage. Performing was where her spirit rose, where her confidence grew, where the world finally made sense. When she sang, when she danced, when she pretended to be someone else, or perhaps someone more fully herself, Everything inside her aligned. In those moments, she wasn't unsure. She was unstoppable. By the time she reached her teens, Cher had outgrown the limits of her environment. The world she lived in was too small for her dreams. So she made a choice, one that would change her life forever. She dropped out of school and moved to Los Angeles. Not because she had a clear plan, but because she had an unshakable instinct. She believed. And sometimes belief is the most powerful beginning of all. Los Angeles in the 1960s was a place filled with music, creativity, rebellion, and raw opportunity. It was overwhelming, chaotic, beautiful. But Cher moved through it with purpose. She was tall, striking, magnetic. Someone you noticed the moment she entered a room. She worked odd jobs, took acting classes, found small gigs where she could. And then fate, as it often does with icons, intervened. She met Sonny Bono. Their connection was immediate. A young woman searching for direction and a man who saw her potential before anyone else did. Sonny became her partner, her mentor, her closest friend. Together, they created a sound, an image, a presence that would captivate the world. Their chemistry was effortless. Their harmony was undeniable. And their first major hit, I Got You, Babe, became an anthem of its time, transforming them into one of the most beloved duos in pop culture. But Cher was not just a singer. She was a personality. She was humor, charm, style, and charisma bundled into a presence that could steal every spotlight. Television welcomed her in, and soon the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour became a phenomenon. Cher's fashion, wit, and vocals made her a star unlike anyone the world had seen. She wasn't the traditional beauty the industry expected, but she became the beauty people admired. She wasn't the traditional female performer roles demanded, but she became the woman audiences loved. Yet behind the smiles, Cher lived through challenges. Fame came quickly, but stability did not. The pressures of maintaining a brand, a marriage, and a public image weighed heavily, and eventually her relationship with Sonny began to break apart. Their divorce was painful, public, and deeply emotional. She found herself standing in the ruins of the life they built together, hurt, heartbroken, and uncertain. But it is in the aftermath of heartbreak that Cher's true identity emerged. She rebuilt herself, alone, against doubts, against critics, against the industry that often tried to box her in. She reclaimed her voice. She recreated her image. In the late 1970s, she found success on her own terms. And in the 1980s, she reinvented herself again. This time, not as a singer, but as a serious actress. Her performance in Silkwood stunned audiences. The dramatic vulnerability she showed in Mask revealed a depth no one expected. And then came Moonstruck. Her role as Loretta Castorini, passionate, stubborn, filled with heart, won her the Academy Award for Best Actress. In that moment, Cher transcended categories. She became not just a singer, not just a performer, but an artist, respected, powerful, and timeless. And yet, even after conquering Hollywood, Cher was far from finished. In the 1990s, the world of music was shifting. Genres were changing. Trends were evolving. And once again, Cher did what she always had. She adapted. In 1998, she released Believe, a song that would become one of the biggest hits in music history. With its bold use of auto-tune, it created a new era of sound, influencing artists for decades. But beyond its innovation, the song carried something deeper. It was Cher's anthem of survival. After heartbreak, after reinvention, after decades of rising and falling and rising again, she stood at the top once more. Strong, confident, unstoppable. Cher had become something rare, a legend across 3 different worlds: music, television, and film. A woman who refused to let time define her. A performer who evolved again and again, always ahead of her era. A symbol of empowerment for generations. Her fashion broke rules. Her voice defied gravity. Her personality reshaped culture. Her resilience became her signature. Through the 2000s and beyond, Cher continued touring, releasing albums, starring in films like Burlesque, and capturing audiences with the same electric presence she had at 20. She remained bold, outspoken, honest. She used her platform to speak on causes she believed in, never fearing judgment and never backing down. Even now, Cher remains a force in entertainment, a woman who refuses to fade, who refuses to slow down, who refuses to be anything less than the icon she has always been. She became proof that greatness has no age limit, no expiration date, no fixed pathway. Her story is one of reinvention, evolution, and fierce independence. Cher's journey is not defined by the obstacles she faced, but by how many times she transcended them. She was never a product of circumstance. She was the architect of her own destiny. She is a living reminder that identity is not something we find once, but something we create over and over again. From a little girl in a struggling home, to a young dreamer in Los Angeles, to one half of a groundbreaking duo, to a solo superstar, to a Hollywood icon, to a global legend whose influence spans 7 decades, Cher remains an eternal symbol of strength, resilience, and evolution. A woman who didn't just survive the industry, she transformed it. Thank you for watching Gone Legends. If these stories moved you, please like this video to support the channel. Until next time, may their legacies continue to inspire us all.